We are recording this on April 5th, 2018. Is that right? I honestly can't remember the year 90% of the time.
Events occur in real time.
Do they really? Huh. Time's a weird fucking thing. Okay. So, is this my camera? I feel like this is my camera. Cool.
So.
What was that?
We're just getting fucking lamer by the minute. That's John in that direction. This is Eric right here. If you can see him there.
Yellow.
I'm CJ. This is Utterly Nonsense. Cue 8-bit intro.
Soundtracks and character fusions, because I think that's a very fascinating and fun idea in comics when they combine certain characters.
So like Amalgam Universe, or? Yes,
exactly like Amalgam Universe, but recently, Marvel's just been combining their own characters. Like one time, I think I talked about this with you once, they had Red Hulk get the Venom symbiote and the Spirit of Vengeance, so he was a symbiote Red Hulk as Ghost Rider, and that design just blows my mind. But now we have something even better. The Punisher became Ghost Rider and got the power cosmic, and he's getting his own series.
Huh. I could actually see like Punisher as Ghost Rider. Like I could see that amalgamation actually
totally
working and making sense. But I don't know. I feel like Red Hulk combined with the symbiote combined with Ghost Rider is just sort of too much. It's like three very different entities.
Yeah, it was like a one-time thing because they were on a team called the Thunderbolts, I think, and I don't know, they had to face some huge things, so it was like a last-ditch effort.
Huh. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Desperate times.
Yeah. I mean,
were they really called the Thunderbolts?
I don't know. If John says it, it's probably true. But
Yeah, I remember seeing the cover of it. It was like Red Hulk, Elektra. I think Deadpool might have been in it, and the Punisher.
Sure. You ever read?
And Venom. No, Agent Venom, not Deadpool.
Okay, well there you go. You ever read Deadpool versus Carnage?
No.
You ever read Deadpool? I feel like that's something you would have read.
I have not, but did he get the symbiote?
He got 5 different symbiotes.
Oh my. What did he do?
So it's like, I forget how the fight even started. I feel like it's just, Marvel thrown two, like, very different, or not even very different, but two, like, well-known characters, an anti-hero and a full-out villain, just for the sake of fighting. But, like, for whatever reason, he eventually ends up in this government facility, like, just in the middle of, I think it's New Mexico, just, like, in the middle of a desert. And, Carnage's offspring, like, all 5 of the, I think they're Carnage's offspring. It's whatever the 5, individual symbiotes are.
Yeah.
They might actually be like his siblings, like Venom's other kids, right? It's like they were all pissed off at Carnage because something he did got them captured, and Deadpool was basically not dead at that point, but like close to losing. So basically they offer themselves up to Deadpool just so he can beat the shit out of Carnage, and
he does.
It's a Deadpool comic book, so
I get that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which again,
I'll have to find that one.
Not the weirdest storyline Deadpool's been involved with, but
Yeah, there's been a lot of weird Deadpool things as we've discussed. I think you mentioned that he can grow any organ he wishes.
Was that last episode or 2 episodes ago? I think you might have been on.
That was like 2 ago.
No, I wasn't on that. I was on the last 2 episodes.
Oh no, that was the one with Drew and Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we had Mike on for one of them, but his audio cut out pretty much immediately. So.
Sits there staring awkwardly as his audio fails to be recorded.
The funny thing is, Mike had a mic, but the mic just didn't work.
Yeah, Mike didn't work.
So
but
then Mike had to go to work.
Audio program he was using to try to record, but it just crapped out like instantly. But
so I think it was just the default Windows voice recorder or something like that.
So Yeah, the one thing is, and it's not Rob Liefeld, it is the other guy, the other co-creator of Deadpool, who actually confirmed it, whose name I keep forgetting, because he's, like, the only thing he's done was co-create Deadpool.
Okay.
But, yeah, so one of the co-creators of Deadpool, like, confirmed in an interview, like, this is years ago at this point, but it's, like, within the last decade, that Deadpool is omnisexual, meaning he's capable of growing multiple sexual organs in order to have sex with as many partners or as a partner of any gender that he chooses.
I mean...
So does that include all animals, all aliens, or anything?
I think, like, if that were the scenario, yeah, that would include aliens.
That kind of seems like a joke, though. He's kind of throw out.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
Maybe being interviews like, oh, yeah, we wrote him as an omnisexual character.
But the thing is, it's canonical now, so... you know.
They took it too seriously.
It's as confirmed as Tom Holland being the kid from Iron Man 2.
I see.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
kind of. He was that kid who, like,
Yeah.
was in the Iron Man mask and he was going to shoot, like, pretend shoot that robot, and Iron Man comes and saves him.
So more or less...
Confirm that that's Tom Holland's Spider-Man, like, as a young kid. Which, in the timeline, sort of syncs up, but... whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so more or less it's something that they've alluded to, but they'll never really put into use.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just, like, an interesting bit of trivia, but it's never going to have a place in the comics, or at least, just, like, not a comic that anyone's actually going to read. Will say, my favorite Deadpool comic book by far, and, you know, this is coming from someone who really just tries to stick to the major comic book arcs, just because I'm not like John, where I can just read... or where I can keep up with, like, every different comic series ever created, you know? But,
yeah, I just look at what's on Twitter or Facebook, because I, like, follow all the pages and I get the updates, so I see, like, the story plot lines. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
So, read Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, just because it's...
I read that,
Okay, so you know, it's fun. It as the name implies, he kills every character in the Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even
Every hero.
Deadpool even kill kids?
Yeah, and well, it's implied that he kills every Marvel character, like every Marvel hero, you know, Avengers, X-Men, yada yada yada.
Okay.
But and you know, so it's revealed that this is like one alternate universe that, you know, Deadpool just basically becomes sane in. If that makes sense, or not even becomes sane.
He realizes that he's a fictional character.
Yeah, he becomes basically.
So that's why he starts killing everyone.
And
so I like to see that Deadpool just realizing he's just like a fictional character.
Honestly, the philosophy of the whole thing's pretty interesting. But yeah.
Because then at the end of it, you want to know what he does?
Yeah.
He comes out of the comic book and he goes to kill the writers at Marvel.
And then he goes and kills every famous literary character ever created. Like, goes into Moby Dick, kills Ishmael, goes... goes into
it's ridiculous.
Sawyer, kills Tom Sawyer. And eventually it leads back to, like, the main Marvel continuity and our Deadpool, like, the 616, right?
Yeah.
So main Deadpool basically forms a team of all the Deadpools from all the alternate universes. And, you know, basically they all die except for 616, the main one, and our Deadpool kills evil Deadpool, and yada, yada, yada.
I wonder what would happen if he just, like, really just kill everybody, every single thing in every single universe, and then just, like, had to kill himself because there was no one else to kill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's part of the thing. Like, so the way he killed Wolverine in his universe, right? Like, he can't kill Wolverine since Wolverine and anyone with that healing factor would instantly regenerate. Or not even instantly, just over time regenerate.
What would happen?
He uses some kind of
That's the thing. So
some kind of poison or something.
If it's not automatically connected, or if the head's destroyed, the head will just grow back. Like, that's how strong because there have been comic book arcs where Wolverine has grown back from a single drop of blood. That's how powerful the regenerative powers are. And you know, the
I
science
don't really know if that
doesn't
would
really make sense. Yeah, I know the science behind it really doesn't make sense, but it's happened, so it's confirmed.
Never does.
Anything will survive.
Yeah.
But so
never has, never will.
So what?
Yep, exactly.
So what he did to kill Wolverine and anyone else with a healing factor was basically chain them up to what was it exactly? Like an electrical fence or something?
I think it was something that just kept burning their skin off faster than, or just as fast as they could heal. But he also he hit him with like this sword that had some kind of corrosive poison on it that would overpower his healing factor. So that weakened him, and then the constant fire on top of it just wore him down until he eventually expired.
Yeah. Well, again, it would keep perpetually killing him every time he regenerated. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, with that in mind, like Deadpool can't really kill himself just because he wouldn't be able to really manipulate that.
Well, what do you think about the very beginning of it? Because I think right in the very beginning, that's it. He should be dead.
Oh, what happened?
With Wolverine or with Deadpool?
No, with Deadpool. Right in the beginning of Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe.
Bringing him into a mental asylum and just, like, trying to eliminate those insane parts of his mind.
No. Right when... Okay, so right in the beginning, it's not really a spoiler because it's the beginning, Invisible Woman blows up his head with a force field inside it. And I think if your head is gone, that's it.
Right. Yeah.
You have no brain. How can anything regrow?
So, I mean, I guess that's the implication. And, like, if you've ever watched Heroes, that's, like, the one way to kill Claire from...
Sylar?
Sylar, too. But Claire, is the one he stole the healing factor from. And, and actually, that's not until, like, the third season. Like, have you watched Heroes at all?
No, actually, I haven't. I've wanted to, but I hear, like, if you, like, like throughout the season, it kind of gets, like... kind of like more like
Well, it's good through the first 3 seasons, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, so like, are you at least familiar with the motto "Save the cheerleader, save the world"?
yeah.
Okay, so the reason that motto exists is because one of the main characters, Claire, who's played by Hayden Panettiere, who's from a country bumpkin. She was really good in the show though, so whatever. So her main ability, or not even her main ability, her ability is instantaneous regeneration. Like, she can heal from any injury, and
like sticking her hand down a garbage disposal.
There's a certain spot in her head where, like, if you disconnect her spinal cord, and, like, she dies multiple times throughout the series because, like, apparently she's just so terrible at protecting that part of her head. Like, she somehow manages to die multiple times throughout that season. But anytime, so, like, a branch will hit her and separate her spinal cord from her brain, killing her. But
as soon as they remove it,
it heals itself. So you can't really permanently die.
Even if you cut it off? Like,
Well,
cut your head off?
so the implication is, like, if they reattach the head, that it heals back, right? Like, I feel like that must have happened at some point.
I don't think so, but that would be an interesting question. Because what if you just leave them separate for a while and they just decay? Then that's it. Goodbye.
Well, I feel like, at least with her ability, it would have to either heal itself or grow a separate head, or a body would grow around the main head. I don't know, something like that.
This is a question for one of those YouTube science channels where they go, like, super in depth about all the abilities and like, why? Because science.
Like Kyle Hill, yeah.
Yes, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, well, that's his show. That's, like, the name of Kyle Hill's show with Nerdist is Because Science.
Yeah.
And, yeah, but, so I know there was, like, one, like, dystopian future vision where Sylar is sort of, like, in charge of everything, and he actually slaughters Claire by decapitating her and throwing her head in a corner of the room somewhere.
Can't you just, like, just burn it? I mean, if you burn it, then, like,
I feel like
there's no way you can detach it.
See, I feel like if you destroy the head altogether, it's just going to heal back on the body because there's no, like, reciprocal for it to... Like, the body would automatically recognize that the head's gone, so you have to grow it back on its own. But, yeah, so oddly enough, like, the whole arc of the first season is that, like, you have to save the cheerleader because if Sylar gets the ability to heal himself, like, he'll be unstoppable.
Yeah, then he'll be invincible.
And Sylar's whole thing is that he's this serial killer who goes around killing people with abilities to, like, steal their abilities. Like, so he'll, like, basically remove someone's skull cap, search for the part of their brain their ability is.
Yeah. Do you remember those scenes?
Yeah, I know, it's pretty fucked up.
Do you remember the guy, Mohinder Suresh?
Glorious Bastards like that?
Yeah, except he does it telekinetically, because, like, the first ability he inherits...
He just goes like this.
And,
he goes like that with his finger, and it makes this sound. It goes...
And I love the music that plays along with it, because it just adds so much to it. Yeah. But,
yeah, it's like this hard... Did you remember the character Mohinder Suresh, what he does to him?
Suresh, yeah.
He, like, crucifies him on the ceiling, and he's just hanging there.
Mm-hmm.
He was ruthless.
Yeah, so, I mean, two weird things about Sylar. Well, 3 weird things about Sylar. First of all, he doesn't get her abilities until the 3rd season, and it's pretty anticlimactic, actually, all things considered. Like, he basically does become invincible, but, he goes through all this trouble.
But then Peter Petrelli takes the challenge.
Yeah.
Because Peter Petrelli, like Sylar, could get other people's abilities, but all he has to do is come into contact with them.
Yeah.
And then he could, like, I don't know, he just gets the powers, but the one dangerous part to that was if he, like, uses too many of them at once, he just becomes a nuke or something like that.
I think it's that he loses control, or that it just doesn't balance with him. And it's not that he becomes a nuke. It's because one of the abilities he inherits is the ability to become a nuclear bomb, or the ability of radioactivity. And again, one of the major first season arcs is that, like, like someone is going to, someone with the ability to basically turn into a nuclear bomb is going to blow up New York unless they can find and stop that from happening.
Yeah.
And, you see dystopian versions of the future where that happened. And, I don't want to get...
Yeah, and then you get to see Samurai Hiro.
Oh, my God.
Come back from
Hero.
the future.
Well, first of all, I love Hiro. He's, probably the best character on the show, let's be honest. But,
yeah, he has the strongest power, I think.
Yeah. What else? Oh, yeah, space-time manipulation is ridiculously cool. So, two other interesting things about Sylar, just like the character. So first of all, he becomes semi-heroic by the end. Like he at least there becomes a worse threat that he realizes, hey, whatever, I'm good now.
All that scalp.
Well, no, there was a reason for that.
Yeah, I mean,
it was because what's his name? To defeat him in season 3, they don't actually defeat him. What they do is they take the guy reads minds. He takes all the memories from one of the good guys, the brother of Peter.
Yeah.
And he puts them into Sylar to make him think that he was Peter's brother, and Sylar had some kind of shape-shifting ability, so he just transformed into him. So he was this good guy for a while until he started remembering that he was Sylar, but by the time he remembered and morphed back into Sylar, he didn't feel evil anymore. So then that's when he...
the reason why? I thought he had some other reasoning for whatever. Yeah.
No, well, he wanted to be a good guy. At first he's going to destroy the world, and then by season 4... when he's fighting that earthquake guy.
Yeah, that guy.
He says, I'm going to save the world.
Yeah.
And then he became Mr. Spock.
Yeah. Yeah, Zachary Quinto plays Sylar and Spock in the new Star Wars adaptation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Star Trek.
Yeah, I was thinking, that'd be a cool crossover.
That would be a cool crossover.
You got J.J. Abrams, in both
yeah, he's
Star
involved
Trek.
with both of them. It could happen.
All right. Now, here's what I want to know.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing. Heroes Reborn... Okay. For whatever reason, they never brought back Sylar or Peter Petrelli, and it pisses me off to this day. I know the other major thing we wanted to discuss, the soundtracks throughout the DC Extended Universe.
Yeah, you were kind of upset about it.
Well, so the one thing John and I were really arguing about was the presence of Danny Elfman in Justice League versus Junkie XL in both BVS and Man of Steel, I believe. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like Junkie XL and Danny Elfman. It didn't really make a huge difference on the movie, I guess, really.
I'd be pretty inclined to... again, I don't think either's... Well, Danny Elfman, I think, in general, is a better composer. Just, you look at all of the filmography Danny Elfman's worked on, it's no real comparison.
Danny Elfman is not a better composer than Hans Zimmer.
No, he's not.
No, Hans Zimmer's the man.
We're talking about Junkie XL here, though, not Hans Zimmer.
Right, well, even though it wasn't Hans Zimmer who would have worked on Justice League, Junkie XL was there when Hans did Man of Steel and Dawn of Justice. So I'm pretty sure he would have continued the themes that were established. And I think that's the main problem in the larger superhero film franchises. They don't carry over musical themes. So it's
not really
it's always background music
themes, sort of in each one.
Yeah, I will say.
DC is a
the Wonder Woman theme. Well, see, that's what we were saying. So that's sort of John's whole argument for Junkie XL over Danny Elfman.
Well, Man of Steel, you can clearly hear there's themes that are repeated throughout the whole movie, and then they're in Batman v Superman, and they should have brought him over to Justice League. They were missing.
Again, maybe it was because I wasn't listening too heavily to the soundtrack in Man of Steel, but just nothing really stood out to me. And
really, I definitely there was definitely a bunch of recurring song stuff
I'm gonna have to watch Man of Steel again. Because at this point, it's been how long ago did Man of Steel come out?
5 years.
So it's been about 5 years because I saw it once in the theater and once after it came out on DVD. So
I've seen it twice in the theater and 3 times on Blu-ray.
Well, that's not shocking. Once in the theater. I remember when we were walking out, there was this guy who had this tiny little scooter mobile thing and had a Superman statue on top. And when you started the car, it would play the 1970s Superman theme. Mm-hmm. And he just drive away as Superman.
Cool.
That's all I got.
But
I didn't see it a bunch of times like you guys.
So I will say,
Marvel too.
outside of just to compare Junkie XL to Danny Elfman some more. Listen to Oingo Boingo if you haven't already, which was like Danny Elfman.
Oh, Oingo Boingo.
Go Boingo.
Well,
Sounds so weird.
It was Danny Elfman's band before he really got into composing for film and television.
Why Oingo Boingo though? Is that like? It sounds like Australian kind of.
It's just their name, you know.
Because they were a weird band.
They were a weird band, like a freakishly weird band, but they were still like a good band back in the day. And Danny Elfman actually has a really good singing voice, which probably not surprising considering how like multi-talented he is. But you know, so yeah, I think the real problem with Danny Elfman's presence in Justice League was that he just didn't really have enough time to make a great score. And
probably.
He took the Batman theme from 1989, kind of pasted it in there like real quick.
Well, again, that was probably a studio decision. You know, I'm sure like they wanted to have that sort of homage to like earlier Batman work. I will say, I think that opening number with Wonder Woman was sort of like the most impressive moment of Danny Elfman's score throughout the movie. Just when she's first going into the bank heist.
Yeah, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool moment, and I think Danny Elfman's score really helps to elevate that. It's really sort of a classic. Like, that's the sort of thing you'd hear on Oingo Boingo, the sort of atonal, but still flows really well type of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Can I ask, though?
Yeah.
What other movies is Junkie XL kind of composed?
That's a good question.
I really don't know.
John,
do you know? I'm just curious.
Amazing Spider-Man 2. It was Junkie XL and Hans Zimmer, and in my opinion, they had the best Spider-Man theme in that movie, but the series didn't continue.
So in what was inarguably the worst Spider-Man movie,
they had the best theme.
Yeah, that's sort of what I wrote.
Yeah, they had the best soundtrack.
Yeah.
That. Yeah, what was the other thing?
And Danny Elfman did the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, which was also good soundtracks too.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
I know, yeah.
It really is.
The first Captain America had a good theme by Alan Silvestri, and they didn't repeat that. Avengers kind of just has the dun 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 dun, and that's it.
They play it kind of in the other two Avengers movies, I guess.
I mean, I guess it's sort of recurring, but
I do like the Spider-Man theme for like Spider-Man where it kind of plays like the original Spider-Man thing, like da da da. Da, da, da.
I mean, that it's sort of just moves into it. It's not really a really remarkable moment. We'll say they did bring back the Avengers theme for the Infinity War trailers, which
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that was good.
So, I do think it flows well. I do think it's reached a sort of iconic status in the same sort of way that the Wonder Woman theme song has, which again, I'm just sort of wondering why they didn't really make themes for any other characters, you know? Like,
I don't know. I mean,
well, Iron Man has AC/DC. He'll always have that.
Yeah, he's kind of always got that.
But
Captain America's got the theme they used once. Yeah, one of me that never used it again.
Right.
So.
Well, again, I meant DC specifically. Like,
and Thor's got a.
Yeah.
They all have like classic rock songs as their themes.
Apparently.
Hey, I'd be fine with that. I thought originally that it was what's his name, Junkie XL and. The guy who did the new cover of Come Together.
Oh, I can't remember.
Something Clark Jr. Gary Clark Jr.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
To me, that's the theme of the whole movie. That cover of the song.
Yeah, that's fair. It's fair enough. Do they ever actually use it in the movie?
They use it in the end credits.
I know they use it in the end credits.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know. Do they?
I don't think they actually use it in the actual movie, which is kind of odd, actually.
They should have used it at the end when they're all coming together to fight the bad guy, and like you just see them step in, and then it should go boom, 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 and then Batman says, "You ready? Let's do it." Something like that.
Yeah, I will say
release the John cut.
The John cut.
So the thing that is interesting about the whole philosophy of BVS, and again we covered this last episode, so I'm not going to go too in depth with it, is that it's very two-sided. It's not like a good versus evil situation, you know? Even Lex Luthor has some very clear motivations that, are, like, nefarious in nature. Like, while he does have nefarious ways of going about them, have, like, legitimate concerns, you know? And again, like, I'd be sort of anxious to see what they do with the Injustice League, or the combination of Lex and Deathstroke as seen at the end of Justice League. Just, I mean, it's sort of hard to go about that without coming out to be fully evil, So, I don't know. I'd like to see DC maintain this sort of lack of good versus evil, more just people with different perspectives, because. I mean,
conflicting interests.
That was like Marvel's biggest problem at the beginning,
Yeah.
And again, Marvel's sort of starting to correct that, but
yeah, they're kind of like dropping all the dead weight, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, DC has been good about that. Even with Steppenwolf, like as two-dimensional as a villain as he is, he at least has a clear purpose. He's not like doing this because he wants to see the world burn. He's doing this because he's not Deathstroke. He's Darkseid's.
Deathstroke would have been an awesome villain for the Justice League movie.
Mm-hmm.
He could be in the next one if they ever make it.
Yeah, is he going to be in the Batman?
You know what I heard?
Matt Reeves' Batman movie. I hear is he going to be in
Batman?
I mean, assuming it actually happens. Maybe.
I'm hearing this happening. They're just not filming it or anything.
Well, the thing is, they keep pushing back the release date. It's still uncertain whether or not it's going to be connected to the DCU.
Do you think they're trying to get Ben Affleck to back off? That's why they keep keeping it back. So he's just so sick of all right, I quit.
Well, I mean, he sort of backed away from the Batman himself, and I think that was largely in reaction to the response of BVS. Just despite the fact that Ben Affleck's performance in BVS was universally praised, of all the people who have complaints about BVS, that wasn't one of them.
Mm-hmm. Just remember that when it was so simple when we heard about Ben Affleck being cast, and everyone was just so worried.
And everyone, and of all the things to be worried about if BVS, who would have thought that was the lowest of the concerns?
Yeah.
I think he did want to distance himself from the DCU at first. I'm not sure if he still feels that way or what. I mean, it's like he has a contract. It's not like he can just fully back out.
I literally heard that they're trying to get Jake Gyllenhaal in the role of Batman.
Oh God.
Wow. Please no.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do love Jake Gyllenhaal as an actor. We were just watching Nightcrawler last week, but just he wouldn't be a good Batman, And especially for the DCU, they clearly wanted to go for a Frank Miller-esque, Dark Knight Returns type Batman. This grizzled older Batman who sort of could care less about his traditional morality.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't. You know what the next Batman movie should be? Batman Beyond. Come on. Just give us an old Batman, old grizzled Wayne with Terry McGinnis.
So this is what I'm thinking for the future of the DCU, right? Start to fade out some of the more used up characters, some of the older characters. Justice League should have been their starting point, right? Do the one thing that Marvel never had the balls to do and show off some of the more obscure characters. Go the Justice League the TV show route and just show off all these really weird, wonderful characters that you just sort of grow to love.
Yeah.
The Question.
It's high time you gave us a Nightwing movie.
I'd love to see a Booster Gold movie, and I'd love to see a Blue Beetle movie.
Can we get a Nightwing movie though?
Yeah, that'd be well. Isn't that in development? I feel like I heard something about that.
I think they were throwing around ideas, but they'll probably just dump them in Titans.
Jesus.
The TV show.
Why? Why are they making a Teen Titans action? Or not action. Live action television. Why? It's so unnecessary.
I
don't know.
Marvel did the Defenders or something, and Fox has got Legion, so they got to have something out there.
Yeah, and they made Superman's grandpa the show.
Oh God, I heard about that.
Oh,
I still have to watch that.
Oh, is that what the whole premise is?
Yeah, it's Jor-El's father on Krypton. There's it's not class warfare, but there's there's these conflicts between the families of Krypton, and it starts out that the House of El, Superman's family name, is disgraced, so his grandfather has to bring it out of the dirt, out of the mud, and all while this is happening, threats from the present day Superman come back in time to try to disrupt everything on Krypton, or just Brainiac for now.
Huh.
Wait,
so they try to tie it to what's current.
Well, it takes place in the past, so.
But it's they're coming from the.
Well, it's not a prequel in the same sense that Smallville was a prequel. I mean, it tells a different story, but it's sort of.
Aren't they doing a show on Metropolis? Or apparently, I heard about that. They're doing a show on like it's gonna be like Jimmy Olsen and like Lex Luthor and Lois Lane or something.
I don't know.
Lois Lane, the origin story. Find out where she learned her writing skills.
No, I bet if it were like a detective movie, I swear to God, like there's gonna be like a crime serial where it's like gonna be like overly layered and like complex and everything, and Lois, Jimmy, and Lex are gonna be there, and they're all gonna be like, oh man, this is such a mess, such a complicated maze of crimes, and one of them's gonna go, oh yeah, I'm sure the person who did this must be a real brainiac.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, I can too.
Okay. So, was there anything else you wanted to cover, or like I feel like we got the gist of it?
I mean, there's one I told you about. I'm curious, John. Did you like FX had like an animated Deadpool series like being created by Donald Glover? Did you hear about that?
I did. They dumped his script or something.
Yeah, and he like released a script like, and it's actually pretty funny.
I don't know.
Deadpool had to like protect the last white rhino or something.
Okay.
Did
he kill it immediately?
No. It was like he was like going on like it was like Castaway kind of, and he was going on like a rant sort of about why it sucked to work with FX and Marvel.
Okay.
Basically, he was like taking shots at FX for canceling the show.
He still has it.
Yeah, because they said that he wasn't around to finish the script or something like that, and he's like, bullshit, I got it right here.
Yeah, because then I remember it was like it was like they were like making fun of Marvel in like the actual scripts, and like the Marvel like executives didn't like that apparently, and like that's another reason why
it's a fucking Deadpool TV series. What the hell were they expecting? Jesus,
I don't know.
That's like if Fox took Simpsons off the air because they make fun of Fox.
Yeah.
See, that's the funny thing. Like, Simpsons make fun of Fox all the time. Like, so does Family Guy for that matter. Like, they're like these shows that are designed around characters that are meant to parody, like, I guess the American lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, like, what else are you going to expect? Of course, it's going to have some meta humor in it, you know? Like, and Deadpool is the king of meta humor in this, like, 21st century. I don't even know what you'd call it. I'm fucking exhausted, so I can't think.
I know.
But, yeah, I mean, like, what else would you expect Deadpool to say? Like,
I don't know.
Grow thicker skin, Marvel. Like, why?
There's one thing I'm curious about that maybe might have happened is that, do you think maybe Ryan Reynolds got involved? Like, because, like, I guess, like, he controls, like, the movie Deadpool, and, like, when he heard, like, they're making a TV show Deadpool, it's like, well, I don't know. I mean...
Knowing Ryan Reynolds, he'd probably be all for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Grant Gustin got pissed off that Ezra Miller was playing the Flash, you know?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Politics are everywhere. Mm-hmm. And they ruin everything.
Yeah.
There's that.
Well, you know who you can trust in news? Utterly nonsense. Yeah. Thanks for sticking with us for this podcast.
AP Music, play us out. Like how you channeled channeled your inner Dr. McGullus there.
Yeah.
Did I?
That was like that's like Dr. McGullus.
We have to learn how to filter all these messages that we're receiving. Yeah. No, I did have them for one class.